welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you our homeschool cabinet that has all of our homeschool resources and curriculums that we follow. We have two children. We homeschool both of them, however one is only of school age. We have a 7-year-old and a 3.5-year-old. We live in the UK and we have some curriculums that we have gotten for free from American companies. We have some workbooks that we work through and just generally like some board games and lots of books. I'm going to show you everything we have as a homeschooling family. What we use at the moment might change throughout the years. We might not be sticking to this completely. And every form of curriculum that I do use, I take the good and I leave the bad. There are some things that I don't fully agree with, and there are some things that I love about things that we follow and use. This is the cabinet that I bought secondhand and I upcycled, and I did a whole video on that. So if you're interested in seeing what I did to that, then I will leave that linked above. And I'm going to show you everything we have in this cabinet. This is mostly the things that we use on a day-to-day basis, but this is what we use to home educate. Here you can see we have a lot of these folders, binders, boxes. We did originally have the proper binders, but we learned very quickly that they just do not work very well for us. So instead we keep our curriculums and things in these boxes like that. But first of all, our first thing we have is we have our academic diary. I put in the work that we need to do for the next day. So I've already done the schoolwork with the kids today, so I've got tomorrow's lessons all ready to go. And then we have a day-to-day of what we're going to be doing. Our eldest writes the date of what day we're on. He will see what we're doing, and then we think of a word that we can learn in Spanish. That means throughout the year we'll have a word that we've learned in Spanish for each day of the week. And then hopefully by the end of the year he would have picked up a few more words and we'll be that one step closer to learning another language. So first thing I do in the morning is I get this out, which has my eldest son's working for the day. Also, we do all of our bookwork first thing in the morning. So when they get up, they have their breakfast, and when they're ready, we get our work done straight away. And we normally only spend about 30 minutes to 45 minutes, I'd say maximum, on getting our bookwork done. Monday through to Sunday, we do a bit of work every single day. However, we do only do a small amount. After he does his bookwork, he then gets 30 minutes of his screen time that he tends to have afterwards while I'm getting everything ready for us to go out for the day. My youngest son is only just starting to do some bookwork. We're getting him used to sitting down and doing stuff. So what you'll see that he has is very different to what I'm doing with my son, because he's technically not at school age yet. So we're just making him used to sitting down and joining us in on school days. So this giant box here has the curriculums that my eldest son is using for this year. So we have our handwriting, and in this folder is all of the handwriting that he's going to be doing in the next few months. Once he's done with this, I will get him to the next stage, or if I feel like he still needs some more practice, I'll print this out again for him to do. A lot of the curriculums we follow are from The Good and the Beautiful, which is an American company, and again, I take the good and leave the bad. So one thing that we absolutely love about homeschooling is we get to take it at the child's pace. So my eldest son is ahead in maths, but a little bit behind in English. I say behind very loosely because I don't believe a child is ever really behind, because everyone's different. Like, one of the reasons I homeschool, and I'm willing to do a whole video about this if you're interested, is because I did not do well in school. I was not the type of person that thrived in school. And I actually didn't learn to read until I was 15. I taught myself to read at 15. I didn't have the help and support that I needed to from a young age, so I was behind in quite a lot of things, partly because I was just classed as naughty, because we've since realised that I'm not naughty, I'm not stupid as teachers proceeded to tell me. My brain just thinks very differently, whereas my husband absolutely thrived in school. He did really well and he was very academic, but when he left school he wasn't prepared for the real world. So we are like the polar opposites, and we've kind of come together to agree to homeschool so that we can find a middle balance. We can take it slow and we can have one-on-one time with our kids, but we also are teaching them about the real world. We have our English and literature program. This again is from The Good and the Beautiful. I printed it all off ourselves. If you don't know, The Good and the Beautiful is an American company. It is a Christian-based curriculum, which isn't why we've gone for it at all. We just absolutely love the curriculum mostly. We think it's absolutely beautiful and it's really easy to follow. It's like an open and go curriculum, so you don't have to like lesson plan, and I am not by any means a teacher, so the idea of lesson planning scares me. The amazing thing about The Good and the Beautiful, it is all free if you print it out yourself, which is what we have done. So we're on level 1 with English from The Good and the Beautiful, and then we have our, oh my goodness, it's so big, level 2 again, The Good and the Beautiful. We've already started to work on all of these. We don't actually take a break from school in the summer. Like I said, we do a little bit every single day. So we are currently on the level 2 maths. So although it is quite easy, we are still doing it because I prefer him to have a full, complete education than risk missing something that he needs a few years later. So the thing about getting The Good and the Beautiful stuff when you print it out for free online is that it doesn't come with the course box that has little manipulatives. So when you buy it online, you get the printout, they send it to you in a beautiful binder, and they also send you this beautiful box. So we have actually figured out how to make our own. So I've bought from Amazon like English pretend kids money. Can you see that? So we've got all of the pretend money because you need it for the course. But obviously if we were to get the American one, that wouldn't help us because we don't use dollars, we use sterling pounds. There's also like lots of plastic coins as well. I actually have found this to be really helpful because one thing I really want to do while homeschooling is teaching my kids how to live in the real world. Teaching them about real money and how to deal with it I feel is so important because the amount of kids that come out of school and they're so academically equipped, but they are not equipped to live in the real world, it's insane. And then we just got like our art supplies in here. So that's an easy access art supply. We also have, it's like an Etch-a-Sketch, but like an iPad, so you can draw on it and then you just click it and it disappears, which is really helpful when you're doing lessons where they need to do a lot of writing and you don't want to waste paper. This has been really helpful. And then in this one here, this purple box is, oh my gosh, my youngest son's bookwork. At the moment, we are just sitting down with him every day, trying to do something to get him into a good routine. But here we've got his doodle handwriting, which is all, at the moment, all we do for him is first thing in the morning when we're doing our bookwork, he has to do 2 pages. So 1 page that way and 1 page that way of his handwriting and drawing. And then I have this little bag of manipulatives I kind of put in front of my youngest son to work on while I'm focusing on my eldest. And there's all of these like front and back shapes where you have a little bag of shapes here and he just has to match the shapes to the patterns. And it honestly, it keeps him distracted for a really long time. There's also some blocks in here. There's loads of them that if you are from the UK, or even if you've not, I don't know if they have CBBS in other countries, but if you have not watched it and you have little ones, watch number blocks and alpha blocks. My eldest has been watching number blocks since he was a baby, and he knows most of his times tables. He knows every like addition and subtraction problem. Like he knows it so well, and I wish I could take credit for that, but I can't. It's all alpha and number blocks. My kids play with them blocks as number and alpha blocks, and they've learnt so much. But there's loads of different manipulatives in here, and I tend to put them out for my youngest, for him to play with while I'm focusing on my eldest. Then I have, underneath all of this, got his pre-K, which is like preschool work that we will be starting probably in the new year, so around January time, because he'll be closer to 4 then. He hopefully would have been used to sitting down and doing work a bit more by then. And we're going to start that in January, and that hopefully will be a bit easier for him. In here we've just got plain paper and paper for them to colour, and they just tend to grab the pens and pencils out and sit this box, and they'll sit and do some colouring or drawings. My friend who also homeschools are going to start this little mini co-op where we're going to learn about the world, and our lesson plans are in there, and we're hoping that if it goes well we can invite a few more families to join in, and that's kind of just my organising for that. Then I've got a broken clock that we use in the lessons when we're learning about time. It can all spin around and my son can figure out, if I tell him a time, then he can put it on the clock, and that's what that's for. Then if we open up this cupboard, we've got all of our spare like pens and pencils, and I've divvied them up into different ones. So we've just got our standard writing pencils, and we do all of our work in pencils, so it's just easy. If we make a mistake, we can rub it out. And there are a few pet rubbers. There are a few rubbers at the bottom. If you're American, I think you call them erasers, and I think quite a few people that watch my videos are American. So we call them rubbers, and I'm aware that in America they're an inappropriate name. That's a really inappropriate thing. But they're called rubbers in the UK. So we've got pens and pencils and rubbers, some gel pens and more colouring pens, because I don't know anyone else that homeschools has this, or even if you don't, pens and pencils just break and disappear and get lost so easily, so you can never have too many. And that's coming from an extreme minimalist. I've learned over the years to always have more pens and pencils if you homeschool. Again, like more pencils, we've got our paint and paintbrushes. There's some watercolour paints and some Sharpies at the back. We've also got some cookie cutters for when we play with Play-Doh. And then in this little basket here are all of our easy to read books that mostly came with The Good and the Beautiful, and as well as the flashcards. So we've got these flashcards that came with The Good and the Beautiful. It says, you show it to the child and they have to tell you the 3 sounds that A can make, and then on the back it tells you, as the parent, it's got the answers really easily. So you've got like A as in able, A as in as, or R as in father. And that makes it really easy, because where I taught myself to read at 15, I never did phonics. Phonics does not work for my brain. And even now, if someone says, sound out, sorry, I'm like, I cannot do that. So having the answers on the back are really helpful for me. And it's actually really lovely homeschooling, because I feel like I'm learning the basics of these things I never got to learn because I missed out on all of that. Then we've got loads of these little tiny books. This is from AJ's level K, quite easy. But then we also have a lot harder ones. So we've just got loads of different books. All of these ones I've printed out have come with our level 1 English, and they go from being quite simple, you can see that, they go from simple, but by the end of this level 1 he's expected to be able to read, like, it's a very thick book and quite detailed. So that's going to be interesting, because my eldest just really does not like reading. But these are all of our like books and resources for reading, and they're easy to grab in the basket. We do have way more books, but these are the ones that I know my son, my eldest, can read and can practice with, and he can just pick through and grab one quite easily, and I know that he will mostly be able to read it. And at the bottom here, we've got our current science curriculum that we are following, which at the moment we are doing The Good and the Beautiful Energy. We normally do a lesson once a week, sometimes twice a week. Then we've got sticker books, colouring books, we've got Jolly Phonics books, and some random like workbooks that I found actually in a charity shop. But there are just, I take it day by day. There are some days where he is not going to sit and want to do loads of writing. I look at what mood he's in and I try and adapt with that. So I don't, although we do something every day, I'm not necessarily going to do a whole lesson of maths, a whole lesson of English every single day. It's just something from English, from maths, that I know will help him, and it's just going to keep the information coming in. And we've got a little circuits board for when we do experiments. In this box here is all of their completed work, and then these are just spare boxes for kind of next year's curriculum. And then in this side of the cabinet is all of our board games mostly. So we've got a few of these different bingo games. I love these. We've had these a couple of years and I think they're amazing. They're beautiful. We've got Ocean Bingo, and we've also got Australia's Deadliest Animals Bingo. I'm buying another one for my son's 7th birthday, which is Dinosaur Bingo, and I probably will get another one for Christmas because we have played this so many times. And what's amazing about these is they also come with a little, information booklet where you can read up about the animals that are on the bingo. We've got Ticket to Ride. And then we have a few jigsaws. We've got random Christmas one, which I don't know why that's in the homeschool cupboard. That's normally in there, but they must have put it in. We've just got a few jigsaws that have been bought for him over the years. I also found these in a charity shop. I found them for £1. I want to eventually get one for everywhere in the world. These happen to be for the American states. As an English person, it makes me realise how little I know, like how little states I know. I do not know that many states, and I've realised since having this jigsaw, but we actually came with 2, and we'll sometimes have like races who can do the jigsaws first, but I want to get one for like England and for, I don't know where these were made, and I need to try and hunt some more down, because although it's cool that we've got some for the States, it's not that useful to us because we don't live in America, we don't really go to America. It's always good to know about the world, but I would love to get some for England and for Europe and just Africa. All the continents would be amazing if I could get things like this. Then I've got another basket here which has loads of little games in. We've got Let's Learn Spanish. We've got Horrible Histories, like Top Trumps type game. We've got the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory Marvelous Maths game, which again, my son loves maths, so these are always really fun for him. Pixar Double, love a bit of Double. And then, oh no, Jenga! These are the easy throw together games. If we can't think of something to do, we play a game, and we keep them in the homeschool cupboard for easy access. And then this bag, I have lots of different magnets. So we have this All About Today magnet board, and these are all the magnets that go with it. This kind of comes and goes into our homeschooling. At the moment we're using the diary, but when my youngest is a little bit older, we probably will get back to using this. The problem is at the moment, he just wants to take them all off all the time, so it's just safer to keep it tidied away. The final thing in our homeschool cabinet is a lot of crafts and random bits that we keep in there for any craft activities that we want to do. I'm not a crafty mum, I'm not gonna lie, I don't enjoy crafts. I wish I was better at that, but I am not, and I've come to terms with that. On top of our cabinet we have our big picture atlas. That's a really nice little thing that we have put on the side, and I tend to add a few different books up here every now and again, because it just means if they can see it, they're more likely to grab it. I'll switch up what book or a couple of books that I put up here for easy access. And then here we have a few jars. And if you read these jars, they say family tax, AJ's savings, and then that one says Forest savings, which is our youngest. What we do with these is we now do pocket money once a month. We give my eldest son £10 and my youngest son £5 at the first of each month. However, they don't just get to keep that money. What they have to do is put 20% of their pocket money into family tax, and then they have to put 10% of their pocket money into their savings account. Then whatever's left, they get to do whatever they want with. When that jar is full, we then do something for family, like to do as a family. It's kind of the point of saying, although you have to pay taxes and that sucks, but that's the reason we have free healthcare. That's the reason we have like roads and all of these different things. Taxes are very important, even though they do feel like they suck sometimes when you're expecting more money. So when that jar is full, then we get to either get something for the house or go do something as a family and show that your taxes are doing stuff and that are really important. And then just getting our kids into the rhythm of knowing they should always be saving at least 10% of their income. So that is our homeschool cabinet, but this is not all of our resources. So let me show you what else we have in the playroom. This is our very messy playroom at the moment. We have been doing lots of DIYs around the house, which you probably would have seen in a lot of them videos by now. So it is kind of crazy. The floor is disgusting. We need to give it a really good clean after there's been loads of paint on it. These are all of our books that we have. So starting at the bottom, we have a lot of our educational books at the bottom here. We love these See Inside books. Let me show you this. And they're flat books, and they're just really, let me show you. So My son really enjoys them. Got a lot of those, and we always, if they go on sale, we tend to collect them. Our little storybooks, some more storybooks we love. If you do not have them, please go get the Oi Frog books. They are so funny and my kids really enjoy them. Loads of Mr. Men books. I'm not a huge fan of Mr. Men books, but my kids do really enjoy them, so they're staying for a bit longer. My friend who lives in Australia bought us this when our eldest was born. It's their version of The Hungry Caterpillar. It's The Diary of a Wombat. Oh my goodness, I love it. It's so funny. If Celia and Richard, you ever watch this video, thank you so much for this book. We love it so much. Then we've got more chapter books. We've got like the Captain Underpants books. We've got the Astrosaurs books, which my son loves both of them. We've got the Pokemon books, loads of Dr. Seuss. Who doesn't love Dr. Seuss? Random pages of books that are falling out because we read them too much. We haven't started on the Famous 5 books yet, but we've got them in preparation. Move up a bit and we've got more chapter books, but these are more, if you follow Charlotte Mason's kind of method of homeschooling, these are the living books, which my sons mostly are too young for a lot of these at the moment, but we have read a lot of the Enid Blyton books. We've read all of the Faraway books, which we love. My husband's currently starting to read the Horrible History books to my eldest, and we're hopefully by the end of the year he will be able to read them himself. That's the hopes. And again, we've got more of the Charlotte Mason's like living stories books. And oh my goodness, if you've not read or heard of Millie Molly Mandy, these are stories that I read when I was younger, or was read to me, and I absolutely love them. They're so wholesome. And I actually found these in a charity shop, and they're like they're from 55 I think, and they're just so beautiful. They're original copies from the 50s and they're so pretty. Then these are my books, so we'll ignore them. In this bookshelf we have lots of board games. We've got Monopoly, Risk, Enchanted Forest, Around the World. That is not where that lives, someone's put that back wrong. So Enchanted Forest, Around the World, Jigsaws, Settlers, Just One. If you have little kids who are about just at the point where they're able to read, this is a really good one. You could have loads of players and it's a really good, fun, easy game to play. Loads of Pokemon. My eldest son is a Pokemon fiend, so he has lots of Pokemon cards. And then we've got the Game of Life, Battleships, and a few other bits up there. This is everything we're going to be using for our curriculum of 2022-2023. I feel this is the first proper academic year that I'm feeling a bit more confident. I'm knowing a bit more what works for us and what we enjoy. So let's see how this year goes. And if anyone's interested at the end of the year, I'm willing to do a review and reflect on that. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful for you in some way. If you have any comments, let me know below. And if you would like me to do a video on why we chose to homeschool, then let me know that too, and I'll get that done. I hope you have an amazing day, friends. See you in the next video. Bye, friends.